Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhaya patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani. Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Prajadane Nirvase Sasunyavadi Paskicha Deshatarane. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, as disciples of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON, and follower of Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. All of these acharyas are following the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with Nityananda, Advaita Gadadhar, and Srinivas. So in Krishna consciousness, we have both the immediate picture, which is the chanting, the pleasure of chanting, the dancing, the eating of prasadam, the joyful celebration of the holy name. Devotees are going out on a regular basis on Harinam, out into the public, chanting the holy name with drums and instruments. Because we are wanting to purify the atmosphere, bring joy to the dry hearts of the people, and those that are interested, who find pleasure in the holy name, who have inquisitive nature, who are seeking God, seeking the highest knowledge, seeking liberation, seeking freedom from suffering, that they may come to us, inquire, come to us, take a book, read, chant the holy name with us, come to the temple, enjoy the vegetarian cuisine offered to Lord Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada has written so many books for the benefit of his devotees, the disciples, that we may read them and understand deeply what it is that we are doing, because we are being inundated with this transcendental vibration and transcendental song and dance. And we need to be caught up to speed as to exactly what it is that's happening to us. So Srila Prabhupada, the literary incarnation of Krishna, the empowered Jiva soul, who is following in the footsteps of Srila Vyasadeva, has translated some of the most important Gaudiya Vaishnava literatures so that we can understand what it is that we're doing, what is our goal, what is the purpose of life, all the reasons why we've come to Krishna consciousness are answered by his divine grace. So when we combined the two, which is a daily regimen, a yogic regimen, or a sadhana, a daily practice of hearing and chanting the holy names, reading, taking prasadam, which is the food offered to Lord Krishna, along with deep understanding of what we're doing, the long term and the short term, the Gyan and the Vigyan, combined creates a very powerful understanding of the Siddhanta of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And every day that we're doing this is adding to our acumen, our ability to dive into what we are doing, to penetrate with our spiritual eye into the transcendence, to qualify ourselves through diligence on the spiritual path, to qualify ourselves to enter into the mysteries of Krishna and Krishna consciousness. We may seem as ordinary beings, you may see us and as not being anything different than yourself. If you're not a devotee of Krishna, but there is a wide gulf of difference between the mindset, the spiritual, the spirituality of a devotee of Krishna and one who is not. Krishna devotees are becoming completely free from the bondage of material life. And through their practice, they are becoming acquainted with this amazing ocean of spiritual bliss. A quality of happiness that doesn't exist on the material plane, that is available to anyone and everyone. The only difference between a devotee and a non-devotee is one is practicing devotion to Lord Krishna and the other is not. Prabhupada used to say, so many zeros, so many zeros, so many zeros equals zero. But when you put a 1 in front of all of those zeros, it becomes 1,000, 10,000, 1 million, 1 billion, 10 billion. The one thing that's missing in people's lives is Krishna consciousness, and that's a big thing. We have the information, the tools, we have the history, we have the science, we have the practice to take ourselves from the level of ignorance to the level of God consciousness. Nobody else can do this. This is a gift that was given to us. And when I say us, I accepted the gift when it was offered, and we are offering it to you. This is a gift. It will clear up all your doubts about God and give you insight, direct perception, infallible information, which is rarely seen or gotten. And someone who is capable and who has digested this information, he is on the deathless path. He will not come back to this plane of existence again and go through birth, growing, old age, and death. That cycle of existence is not in the future for someone who has taken to the path of Krishna consciousness. There is life after death. And that is something that you can see and know while you're alive now. You can tune into the other side. We call that the transcendence. You can become familiar with the transcendence, and just making an effort in Krishna consciousness relieves you of the inherent suffering of the material world. You, even without fully seeing and knowing Krishna, just practicing Krishna consciousness, the slightest bit of attachment to spiritual life removes the pain and suffering of material life. Therefore, everyone should practice Krishna consciousness and not waste their time chasing phantasmagoric pleasures. By nature, the soul inside this body, our soul, is seeking pleasure. We seek pleasure because God is a pleasurable personality. He is an enjoyer. And being that we are part of Krishna, we are also prone to seeking pleasure. Problem is, pleasure separate from God is Maya or illusion. Pleasure in relation to God is real pleasure. So when we in this material world are divorced from Krishna or God, and we are looking for pleasure every moment, we are continuing a path of destruction and defeat. No matter how much money we have, no matter how much energy or youth, we cannot be satisfied. And we see that practically. This is nothing new. Money cannot quench our thirst for happiness. Money is not meant to, but without anything better, that is all we focus on. Or power, or fame. Again, illusory, fleeting pleasures. Mental pleasures, sometimes physical pleasure, both of which are temporary and don't really satisfy because they're not in relationship to God. They're not part of his experience, direct experience. We are trying to enjoy happiness separate from Krishna, where the formula that is being presented is don't try to enjoy separate from Krishna. Enjoy with Krishna. Keep Krishna as the forefront. Recognize that he's a supreme person and recognize that he is the enjoyer. And keep all of your activities in relation to him, and you will find actual lasting pleasure. That's transcendence. The combination of the Lord and us is the transcendence, the joy, the happiness. And we teach this in Krishna consciousness. It is not a difficult philosophy, but it does require some common sense. You have to look at the fact that our life is not that wonderful. Despite what we've gained or energies that we've expended, we're not getting back what we're putting out. And that's intrinsic. Means that we can't. We're limited by our body. And what we are is the soul, which is presently inside the body. The soul is of a different nature than the body. So the soul requires a different type of food for its spiritual experience. The body and soul don't mix well. Actually, the soul is riding on these life airs inside the body and really doesn't even touch the body. But the hands and eyes and legs and mouth are all bringing to the incarnate soul or the indwelling soul material things to enjoy, the pleasure of which, the different ordinary foods that people eat, smell, see, the use of these different senses. And do not satiate the spiritual soul in the body, watching everything, officiating over everything, allowing or not allowing based on our karma, is the Supreme Lord sitting next to the soul. So what we want to do in our yogic practice of Krishna consciousness is, instead of focusing all of our energy into our body, we want to take the life source, the energy, the consciousness that we have, and direct it to the Lord in the heart. So we want to turn our face to him. We do that through our practice. We offer the Lord obeisances, we offer him flowers, we cook for him. We learn the art of transferring our innate ability to be loving from our body, our family, our nation, and we use that energy toward God. God first, everything else second. That's the proper order that we need to rearrange in our life. This is the information coming from Krishna directly, God, in the Bhagavad Gita, and from the disciplic succession of self-realized souls who are here to teach us what we don't know. So what we don't know is killing us. We need a layer of information that is presently devoid. It's not available to us. We have to receive it. Just like going to school, going to college, learning about calculus and these different things, it has to be learned. It has to be received. The dormant ability to learn is already there. And the level of intelligence required to understand the absolute is already given to us. The one thing that we're lacking is the actual information. And that can't be dreamed up or speculated or just imagined. It's real and has to be received. So in a humble fashion, one learns to approach an authority in spiritual subject matter, whom we call the guru. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevayor upadekshyanti te jnanam garinas tattva darshina. Darshin, taking darshan, or shelter, or taking the audience of the guru and hearing from him. The self-realized soul can disseminate knowledge to you by hearing, simply by using our hearing ability, just like any other subject matter. In this case, it's spiritual or transcendental. We hear from the guru and we learn. We get knowledge of that which is beyond our ordinary senses. Now, if the source of information is deficient, if it's not perfect or complete or realized, then our knowledge will also be incomplete. So we emphasize this parampara, disciplic succession. We emphasize the purity of the knowledge, the fact that whatever the guru speaks is supported in the scripture and by other self-realized souls. So there's a support system, a check and balance system. In this way, the disciple, you and I, the party that's interested in learning, is getting proper information. It's just like if you need to get a surgery, you go to a good hospital with certified doctors who are specialists in their area, and the hospital is also certified. And then this particular doctor has experience. You want to learn calculus, you go to a qualified professor or teacher in a qualified school like that. It's no different. If you want to learn spiritual knowledge, you go to a qualified spiritual master. And he can teach you, and he can engage you and guide you. In prior times, and still in India, guru was common, meaning everyone knew the importance of accepting and taking a spiritual master. In today's Western society, spiritual life is a mess. And the idea of a guru is not known in the Western society. But in the Eastern society, it's common. And it should be something that we understand. We don't need to be Easterners or Indian in order to hear and take shelter of and accept a spiritual master. This is nothing to do with race, creed, color. This is a transcendental experience. The purpose of our life is at stake. The purpose of human civilization is at stake. The purpose of happiness, real happiness, is at stake. If you want to solve the world's problems, this is the way to do it. If you want to solve your own problems, if you want to make your life a success, this is how you do it. So leave a comment, get in touch with me. I'm happy to work with anyone who wishes to become acquainted with the ocean of Krishna consciousness. I've been practicing over 50 years. I am a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, the founder of ISKCON. And I don't ask or expect to get paid for any of my services. I have my experience and I want to share it. And I want to guide people to Prabhupada, my spiritual master, and I want to help that person who wishes to be guided for his spiritual life. Because I understand that without the help of somebody, no one can make it to Krishna consciousness. It requires a bridge. And it is the duty of each person who is a Krishna conscious person who's taken up the path that he must also act as a bridge for others. It is part of our growth. I can't just take this knowledge for myself and expect to go back to God. I have to also offer the bridge that was given to me. I have to extend it to others, that they may also use, because there are many, many people out there who are sincerely interested in knowing God, let alone that everyone should be interested. Many, many people have turned their back and they are so caught up in the pleasures of the body and this world that they don't see the importance of inquiring into spiritual life. That door has been closed. But then there are what we call the low-hanging fruit. These are the people that are still with hope in their heart, would like to hear what we have to say in regards to God. So I must keep my door open. I also must make propaganda. I must That's why I'm doing these videos. And I'm hoping they go viral. I'm hoping I can find someone to help me make these videos viral. I want to offer my services while I am continuing my own spiritual growth and practice. So thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon. Hare Krishna.